Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Group Chat Family Edition, a podcast designed to help families have meaningful conversations about faith at home. I'm Brett, and I'm so glad you're here this week. Whether you're driving to practice, sitting around the dinner table, or winding down for the night, this podcast is all about giving you tools to talk about Jesus in everyday life. Each week, we'll explore a big truth from Scripture, unpack what it means for your family, and give you questions and ideas to help spark meaningful conversation with your student at home. So let's dive in. This week's session from the Gospel Project is called Rebuilding the Temple. The main idea is this, that God works for our good and for His glory. Even when life feels delayed or disrupted, God is still working behind the scenes to accomplish His purpose. The Christ connection that goes with this says that God's people rebuilt the temple so that they could worship Him. Years later, God sent Jesus not just to visit the temple, but to give us Himself. Jesus is the better temple because He brings us into God's presence forever. So here's some questions to ask around the dinner table or in the car this week. 1, why did the people stop building the temple for so long? What does it mean that God works for His good and our glory? How can we prepare our hearts to worship God as a family? And lastly, is there an area in our lives that needs rebuilding, like trust, prayer, or even time together? See, the return and the rebuild weren't just about the people. They were about God's name and His plan to send Jesus. Our obedience matters because it shows the world who God is. Rebuilding starts inside with our hearts. So encourage your family to think about one way we can put God first this week. Just a few quick reminders. 1, the Vancouver mission trip. We have reopened applications and they will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, January the 11th at 11:59 p.m. So if you have a 9th or a 10th grader and they want to go to Vancouver, it is still open until 11:59 p.m. January 11th. So make sure you get that in. Wednesday night activities resume this week. Yes, we're so excited to be back, and that includes Student Connect from 6 to 7:30 here in the student building. And we are kicking off a brand new series for both middle school and high school. Lastly, Fuge Camp 2026 registration is open. So please go to fhbc.org/students to go ahead and get registered for a great summer camp experience this year. So we encourage you to get on top of that before those spots fill up. Well, that's all I have for this week's Group Chat Family Edition. Keep the conversation going and keep pointing your family to Jesus. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.